How many types of showers do you know? Baby shower, bridal shower, hot shower, cold shower, meteor shower, golden shower? Well, how about a meat shower? The Kentucky Meat Shower was a goofy-ass event that happened in Kentucky on March 3rd, 1876, sometime between 11 a.m. and noon. Now, because Zeus, chief Olympian and god of all mortals, likes to play really crazy jokes on all of us, it happened in Bath County, Kentucky. Now, let me say that again for all of you who don't understand what good irony is and what incredible joke-telling the world is sometimes. The meat shower happened in Bath County, Kentucky. Mrs. Crouch, a woman who was bound to the control key 68% of the time, was out making soap on her patio when she noticed that no matter how much she scrubbed, things just wouldn't come clean. Except it wasn't her long, almost forgotten, treasonous acts against God that was causing her clothing to devolve into blood-stained messes. It was actual chunks of meat, and they were raining from the sky, raining as if showering from an overhead cloud. Hence, the Kentucky Meat Shower. Random chunks of just flesh began pouring from the sky for about an hour. And we don't know why. And this wasn't just random little fleckles of blood and flesh like when your sister has a big sneeze when her Aunt Flo is in town, nor was it actual, proportioned meat pieces as if President Rutherford B. Hayes was importing some Wagyu beef from Japan over a plane at the time. These were cubes, actual meat cubes, sometimes 2, 3, or 4 inches in length. By the way, I'm this long. So what do you do when mysterious meat rains from the sky? Well, you eat it, of course. Everyone gave the turbulent tissue a taste, and nobody knew what it was. Some people said it was venison, some people said it was elk. One guy even said it was Sasquatch, and then another guy said, "Shut the fuck up, Willie, we killed the Sasquatch last week." Oh, you out there are probably on the edge of your seat wondering what the fuck it was. No one knows. There were a lot of best guesses as to what it was. A lot of people said beef, pork, lamb, veal, venison, chicken, turkey, roasted boar, people, vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, rocky road, mint chocolate chip, red, blue, green, orange, and one guy even thought it was corn. Okay, I lied about all of that except for, people and before that. Jokes aside, no one really knew exactly what it was. They finally took a sample to a lab and analyzed it, and they concluded that really all they knew is it was lung tissue, but they didn't know what kind. They said it could either belong to a horse or a baby. Yay! But by now we're living in the 2020s. We have science, we have technology. Look, we have running water. It's a bona fide fucking miracle. Can't we figure out what that meat was? Well, we've got some theories. Nothing concrete, but theories. So let's go ahead and talk about 3 of them. What are you, busy? You got something else to do? I thought that's why you were watching this video, about talking about stuff. Now hang on, I am busy. The most viable and boring theory is it was a substance called nostoc, or nostoc, or nostoc, or something. It's basically a big mass of jelly-like bacteria that gets together and inflates up when it rains. Nostoc's pretty goddamn gross. So here's a picture of it. It's also known as witch's butter, mare eggs, and star jelly, which I'm pretty sure I've seen somewhere in a video game or something, the term star jelly. Let me know if there's a game or a movie or something that calls it that, because I feel like I've heard of this shit before. About 3 months after the incident happened, some stupid dipshit asshole named Leopold Brandeis brought forth the nostoc theory because he had a little sample of everything preserved in a jar of glycerin. And yeah, that would make sense. During particularly strong winds, nostoc can be thrown throughout the air, and like I said, it kind of absorbs water and gets all jelly-like when it rains. And if it was showering outside, that would make perfect sense, wouldn't it? Also, people who have eaten nostoc says it does taste really close to chicken. But despite all of his PhDs and incredibly well-funded science experiments, Leopold was the largest dumbass on the planet who's ever lived. Because the substance in question just being a gust of nostoc doesn't make any sense. Number one, there were witnesses to the event, people who actually saw this stuff, and they pretty much knew that it was meat, not nostoc. This wasn't a rumor, this wasn't like the town chupacabra. People were there, they gathered to watch this. It's not like those state laws that I happen to know so much about. Articles were written about this in both the New York Times and Scientific American. In fact, the New York Times article is archived on the internet. You can read it by pausing your screen now. The Scientific American article seems to be lost to time, but the ones that reference it do seem to have the correct dates and are referenced themselves in a lot of literary articles on the subject, so I'm going to go ahead and say that that really happened. Now back on track, the nostoc also wouldn't explain how a science lab independently tested that they got lung tissue in all the meat samples. Also, this event's called the fucking Kentucky meat shower, not the Kentucky and then some gnostic fell from the fucking sky hour. That's not what happened. Specifically, the sky was perfectly clear on that day. The only thing falling from the sky was the meat. There was no regular rain whatsoever. The second and, in my opinion, most likely event involves nature's little scrappers, your favorite Russell tumblers. And I'm not talking about little orphan Billy. I'm talking about vultures. I've got a slew of fun little vulture facts that I could rattle off, but there's one in particular that is really important for this video. Vultures vomit. They like to vomit. In fact, I can't do like a smug. Vultures should vomit. And no, that's not because of the swirling witch's cauldron of disgusting rotten flesh and plague that they eat every single day. It's actually a defense mechanism for many species of vulture. A lot of things hate vultures, and not just people. A lot of animals in general do tend to avoid preying on them because they're often covered in their own shit and piss. That's another cool vulture fact you can look up. But hyenas, birds of prey, lions, and other really large, perpetually pissed off predators have been known to feed on them. Now, the thing to take away on that list of predators is two of the most common predators of the vulture are eagles and hawks. Vultures can vomit up to several feet away from their bodies and can typically be seen flying anywhere from 5 to 20,000 feet in the air. You're starting to get the picture now? What most likely happened in Kentucky is a vulture was flying through the air with his nice little friend vulture pals. Then an eagle or a hawk or something swooped in to piss him off. He vomited. Blah! All over everywhere. Which caused another vulture to say, dude, I can't see vomit, I can't see vomit, that's gonna make me ugh! And then he threw up. And then his friend threw up, and then his friend threw up, and they all threw up into a giant big mess of vomit. This led to the nastiest chain reaction I can ever imagine, happening about 20,000 feet in the air. Then it sprinkled over this small area of Kentucky like a shower, and the only thing I can keep thinking is the fact that people fucking tasted it. Oh, God. Now, as likely as that may be, we don't have solid proof of it happening, even though everything points to that as the cause. Which leads us to our third and final theory. It was just Daryl from Accountant playing a fucking prank on us. Fuck you if you're watching this, Daryl. Whew. Well, whatever it was, it certainly was a wacky time in human history. Weird, crazy stuff happens all the time, and this happened to be one that we wrote about. How nice. Well, I'm finally done prepping. I can take my shower. I'll see you next time.